This podcast is brought to you by Power Retail and was recorded at the Retail Global Gold Coast Conference 2019.
Hi Naomi, how are you today?
I'm fabulous, and how are you, Mark?
Very good. Look, we find ourselves in the Power Retail studio. You're a much better looking Grant, I have to say.
I know. We just chuck him out, basically.
We've taken over the studio. I think his goal was to interview us separately, individually. We were like, why don't we just cut out the middleman?
That's right, and let's not follow instructions either.
Exactly.
That's the nature of entrepreneurship, isn't it?
I was going to say, I think that is the definition of being an entrepreneur, not following instructions.
Yeah.
Maybe what's your best example of not following instructions?
Oh, I've always been like that. Like, if my father asked me to do something, I would do the exact opposite, and he never kind of woke up that he needs to say the opposite, and I would do what he actually wanted me to do. So the good old reverse psychology. But I would often use that with my kids, is the reverse psychology, and sometimes I do use it with my colleagues as well.
Yeah,
I know.
Not that entrepreneurs are ever Machiavellian or manipulative, ever.
No.
We're very nice people all the time.
We are. No, I think we're rather myopic, and that can be exhausting for people.
That is true.
Yeah.
Kind of, we don't let ourselves be distracted. Hey, so this morning I saw your presentation. Great presentation. Congratulations on everything you've done. Thank you on the getting RedBalloon back as well. That was an interesting story.
I know that not many people have heard.
I know. I thought it was almost quasi-therapy for you today.
Well, it is still therapy. It was a really, really tough, a really, really tough time.
I don't know if you want to quickly tell the story again for people who weren't there.
So I was the CEO of RedBalloon for 10 years, and I had that company with my husband of the time, and when we separated, I was asked to to walk away from any operational involvement and sit on the board. And over the next 5 years, I saw the business kind of go from, just limping along to actually begin to go into decline. And it was very, very hard to watch. And there was all this conversation on the board about pivoting, this, that and the other thing. But what I do know is the experience economy is on the rise. And it just didn't make any sense. But what was missing was entrepreneurial energy. And when I think about that, it's really about being the voice of the customer over and over again. Because as I talked about this morning, I remember when we had no customers. So every customer is precious. And as I see our run rate now of, an experience served every 39 seconds, I just know around our business of 130 people, but people kind of take it for granted. And so I'm always the voice of the customer and go, but what about? Are we listening? How do we listen and get involvement? But it was a tough time for me. It did give me the opportunity to go and do other things, the Shark Tank, write books, do some speaking. But it was with my now fabulous business partner, David Anderson. We set a plot, which was quite Machiavellian, to acquire my own business, which we did, and we created the Big Red Group, and now we've got 5 brands within the Big Red Group to serve experiences for different people.
Congratulations on the If Only launch yesterday.
Thank you so much.
Some good stuff on the side already.
I know, it's amazing, really. The team's done an amazing job in getting it together. And there's, it's also for good, and it's really lovely because that social element and social contribution is really important in business.
100%. I think it's quite interesting, the whole journey of seeing your baby go through tough times and then come back, refocus on the customer and get it back to kind of, a better business. I think we went through a Temple Webster, right? So we started Temple Webster, gangbusters growth, then went through a bit of rocky patch, we kind of IPO'd. Over the last few years, we've been really focused on the customer, really focused on making sure that we kind of, relentlessly focused on our job, which is to make our customers' homes more beautiful. And I think I know the business is in such a stronger position now than it was before. And it's almost that kind of you forge yourself through those tough times, I think, into, a stronger business. I don't know if you felt the same over the last few years.
Actually, tough times unite the team.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
There was a time where we had a massive competitor coming in from Europe, deep pockets, was just absolutely, and it united us to the cause that we're not going to take our business away from us. And actually, it's through that thick and thin that really creates this unity of purpose. And our job as leader is to remind people of our purpose and the difference we make to humanity. And one of the books that I wrote, Live What You Love, it explores the difference between passion and purpose, because people go, I've got so much passion, but actually that's quite I'm not selfish, but it's about you. It's your energy. I'm passionate about this, I'm passionate about that. Purpose is about how you make the world a better place.
That's
and for
right.
you, it is about
Yeah.
homes, how people
Yeah.
feel when they open the
Exactly.
door and they're home and you go, and
Yeah.
you made it easy for them.
Yeah, that's right.
Because, I don't want to schlep around the store. Sorry, all those store
Yeah.
owners out there. Oops, I've just...
We're an online retail conference. I think that's okay.
It's not so much
Some of
that.
them more omni-channel now.
Yeah.
Omni-channel.
Oh, there we go. It's not their fault. The traffic's bad, parking's bad,
Yeah,
and then I've got to get it
100%
delivered.
crowds.
So that my experience is that I just want to be at home, and I also want to be able to put everything together. And that
Exactly.
experience of coming home. We are all in the experience economy.
100%
All
we are.
retailers
Yeah,
are in the
100%.
experience economy.
Yeah. Well, 100% you're right, and I think I think that focus on what does the customer want, what is the job you're going to do for the customer, how do you help that customer live more beautifully, more experientially, connect with their family in a better way. If you focus on the customer, I think everything else follows. That's kind of my theory.
Yeah, it does. There's an important word in that though. And so people often come on to Shark Tank or even we saw some pictures today and they talk about the problem they're solving. You can solve a problem, but will someone pay for it?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a completely different thing. And finding those customers,
Yeah.
as we know, is hard. So what is the job you're being hired to do?
Yeah, and rehired as well.
Yeah, and rehired.
That's the other thing as
Yeah.
well. I've heard it described even like a Coke can, where you don't even think, you use the milkshake, but you hire a can of Coke to do a job.
Yeah.
To make you feel associated with a brand or make you feel cool or hydrate you or whatever that kind of experience is, but you are hiring a can, and every time you rebuy that can or that brand, you're rehiring that company, right?
Yeah.
Which is, so you're fighting for the customer every single time that they're hiring you.
And retail is only getting harder in the
Yeah,
sense
exactly.
of customers are distracted
Yeah, 100%.
and fickle.
Yeah, there's
and
so much competition
as I
now.
talked about this morning, it's now about access over ownership.
Yeah.
So it's the access. The other thing is there's three core elements to the why would somebody choose you.
Yeah.
One is it's just transactional. Actually, they don't care who you are.
Yeah.
The other two are far more important and where you get intrinsic value.
Yeah.
One is the social proof,
Yep.
and then it's the emotional connection.
Yeah.
I feel better because I chose Coke
Yeah.
over Pepsi.
100%.
And so those three elements, and I think that people often forget that it is an emotional thing. Getting somebody to part with their dollars over and over again is they're only going to keep rehiring you if you're adding value to them emotionally.
I think that, and they're proud of having bought from you. Like I always say to our staff, and I really want our customers to, when they're having friends over and their girlfriends over, and they go, "Where'd you get that?" And they go, "Temple Webster."
Yeah.
And they're proud of it, and it's because
yeah.
that's the connection. If you're proud enough to say where you bought something from and you show it off, then you've kind of got a connection with that brand, right? You don't want to be the brand when you go, "I got it online somewhere."
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. It's the same. I guess one of the transition points for us at RedBalloon was about the social proof station of when people are happy to post about what they're doing, but they name RedBalloon or they name Adrenaline or they name If Only, haven't got a lot of social proof yet.
Ifonly.com.au.
Yeah. It's actually ifonly.com, but never mind.
Ifonly.com.
It's a
Global.
global
It's
place.
global experiences.
It is global. And that really supports us in terms of what we're doing. If we can be a part of people's really kind of intimate social moments, then we get the social proof.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that that's really worked for us, and it's what we want. And if our customers are proud, and our business partners, suppliers are proud as well, it's our job.
Yeah, great. Well, congratulations on everything you've done.
Oh,
You're an amazing
thank
kind of
you.
role model for the whole of the industry.
Oh, thank you. But I am really happy to share our white paper on the experience economy because, of course, we sell experiences, but it's about this customer experience, and there is a massive shift. And if anybody goes to thebigredgroup.com.au, there's a pop-up there, and then we'll send you out a copy of your 64-page
There we go.
booklet on, experiences at work.
Yeah.
And it's a really big thing also is how do we engage our people at work? How do we get, so
100%.
yeah, we've worked on that.
Well, everyone should download and read that. I'm sure it'll be great.
Absolutely. There you go.
I think Grant kind of wants his chair back.
Oh, it's all about Grant.
Yeah, all about Grant. Thank
Thanks,
you.
great to speak to you.
Yeah, you too, Nelly.
Cheers, bye.
Bye.